What's happening everybody, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Bat Like video. Today I'm going to be showcasing the newly buffed Togetic. This Pokemon is quite underrated and quite good in the Open Great League now. This is pretty much the bulkiest fairy in the Great League, and it absolutely walls Medicham. You're going to see in this matchup, it's double resisted counters, and it's going to take 3 Ice Punches for Medicham to take out Togetic. And we actually just pace equally to the Psychic here, which the opponent seems to be going for, and we're firing off the Dazzling Gleam, which just absolutely one-shots the Medicham. This Pokemon is super underrated, but it does not do very well against electric types, so we're going to transition out of here. And just really quickly, before we hop into the video, yesterday we hit 1,800 subscribers. Thank you very much everybody, and if you haven't yet done so, quickly do so now. It's absolutely free to subscribe, and go ahead and drop a like in the video as well. We brought Registeel in here against the Spider because, of course, electric types do very well against Togetic. The opponent's going to fire off multiple lunges here for some reason. They should be going for discharge for damage. I guess they do want to debuff me, but it's going to come at the cost of eating another Focus Blast here, which is probably not what the opponent wants to do here, but they're going double shields on Galvantula. It's one of the main reasons I don't like Galvantula. You have to shield it so much, and yeah, I don't think it's really worth it. Same with Sandslash actually, but it is worth it. We're going to respect a discharge here. I'm expecting the debuff to come through, but the opponent does go for the discharge, which is amazing here. I was thinking they were a little bit further away from the move than this, so I was going for an overfarm, and this one is a lunge. We're going to respect it, and we're going to look to overfarm. In comes NOCTOWL here, and Togetic is a really positive match against NOCTOWL. You just outpace to the Ancient Powers. We're going to chip it with the Ice Punch here first. The opponent will get off either a Shadow Ball or a Sky Attack, but as you're about to see here, this Shadow Ball is not going to take us out. It's not even close, and we can actually overfarm at this point and look to get to back-to-back Ancient Powers. We already have an Ice Punch loaded on the Sandslash, and we're just about to outpacing here. We win CMP against NOCTOWL. Honestly, it probably would have been better for me to lose CMP here or just not throw the move, just to make sure the Galvantula doesn't get any extra farm here. As you see, they're getting a couple of Volt Switches through, so they're like 1 Volt Switch off a move. I think 1 discharge would not take out Sandslash anyway. This Pokemon is glassy, but not as glassy as I thought it was. And we do take that Galvantula out. This Pokemon is amazing. Like, I know, like I said, this is supposed to be a Togetic showcase, but Alolan Sandslash, it really has shaken things up so much. Alright, so let's hop into the next battle here. I think in a lot of these battles, like, I was getting, like, pretty bad leads for a lot of them. Like, I didn't get a ton of Medicham, which is what I was really looking for. Like Sandslash here, it's not a good lead. I end up staying in here for a second and trying to overfarm, maybe looking to catch an Ice Punch. The opponent anticipates it, and they're just about to completely run through my Registeel at this point. I can force a shield on the opponent here, which I probably will look to do. The opponent does go for another move here. I'm going to have to respect this here, and look to get off a Focus Blast. But the opponent's going to be able to go for a massive overfarm, but they do not. They go into Toxapex, which in my opinion is a huge mistake. Like, people swap out of really positive matchups, and it gives people like myself here in this particular video a chance to make a comeback. Now at this point we can eat brines and sludge waves all day in this thing, and we can even look to overfarm and get up to 100 energy before the Sandslash comes back in. Now what I decide to do here is actually bank the move, and look to keep that later on for Sandslash, and then get ahead on energy on my own. So like the opponent's really dominant position has just been absolutely flipped and turned around. Now we have 100 energy in Registeel and pretty much 100 energy on Sandslash. So the opponent's in a bit of a rough spot here now. And they're going to come back in with Sandslash. And at this point we're just going to start dumping drill runs into this thing. This will guarantee both of the opponent's shields if they want to stay alive here. Could have went for a bait, but I knew I was going to get to the back-to-back. So I'm happy just to play it safe here, go for the double here. And at this point, if the opponent takes me out, this is absolutely fine. I know that they're still like a little bit away from the next drill run, so we can safely come back in with Reggie. Just go straight for this move here. Look to Focus Blast him out of here, which will one-shot this from full health pretty much. And in comes Lantern. At this point, we are actually ahead on energy and up a shield. This is a pretty negative matchup for Togetic, and I actually misplayed this slightly here. I just need to go for the back-to-back Dazzling Gleams. What I decide to do here is CMP on the Ancient Power, thinking that, you know, worst case scenario, I should be able to get to a move on the Reggie anyway, and I'm pretty much like happy enough to let this go. The opponent does go for a Surf Bait here, and can we actually get to this move in time, or will they farm us down? We do get to the move just in time here to take out the Lantern, but I think I should have just committed to the back-to-back Dazzling Gleams, and that would of course have taken them out there. So at the very least, like, this thing counters you pretty hard, but as you can see, like, 1 Dazzling Gleam gets them almost into the yellow, so you can put in a lot of damage with it. Hopping into the next match, Togetic versus Ninetales. If this is Charm, it's a positive match, and if it's Powder Snow, it's very negative because they just outpace. Now, in that particular scenario, because we're running like an ABB style team, we do want to transition out of there anyway, having 2 Steel types against the Ninetales, which are much more preferable. We'd rather just hold on to some health on Togetic, keep it around for maybe like a Medicham, a Fighter, or any dark types that may be in the back. The opponent's in here with Politoed and they're just spamming off Weather Balls. So I'm thinking maybe they've got Blizzard on this thing, otherwise they would be looking to at least threaten the Earthquake. They're just spamming off these, and at this point, like, we can pretty much get both shields or get the knockout here. So I'm really happy with this position, and that's why Registeel's amazing. Look at the IVs on this thing, by the way. I got a really, really lucky trade on this, and this Reggie is just absolutely incredible. Now, we will get to another move if the opponent doesn't throw, and they realise that, so they throw off another Weather Ball. I might be able to live this here. I think I did live at 1 health, and I don't quite get to the Focus Blast. At this point, we can come back in with our Togetic. Of course, it's a little bit deadweight in the front. You know, that was my thinking here. We'll look to Dazzling Gleam this thing out of here. But actually, like, now that we've got 2 shields, we're looking in a good position. The opponent actually finally goes for the Blizzard, and as you can see, we can live that. Ordinarily, a Blizzard would probably take you out, but with the debuff, we managed to live that. Get off the Dazzling Gleam, and regardless of this taking me out or not, I'm happy enough just to sacrifice it, and look to come in with Sandslash with 2 shields. We're going to absolutely almost one-shot this thing. This Ice Punch is going to rip through Trevenant. That's going to be goodbye Trevenant. 2 more Shadow Claws will take it out, and back in comes Ninetales. The opponent will probably see the writing on the wall here. They can go for, of course, Weather Balls, but it's not really going to make a difference here at this point. These charms are not adding up enough, especially on the non-shadow. I guess it's, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, because that drill run would have close to taken out the shadow. So good games to the opponent here. There's not a whole lot they can do. And we do manage to sweep with this Pokemon. Man, this Pokemon is just so much fun. I'm really glad they've added some good moves to this. You know, I was always of the opinion that NOCTOWL and Lantern does need nerfed. Very terrible lead here, by the way. But I can see that they've done something really good here with the buffs here this season. And, you know, we're able to just kind of keep the meta that we've had already, except just add things to it. And it seems to be working really well so far, and hopefully we can get more of the same. Now, the IVs on my Registeel are so OP that I can actually get off 2 Zap Cannons on this thing. The opponent's going to go for a Psychic here, which does, you know, an okay little chip here, but as you can see, we're living these counters so well, and we're going to get off a second Zap Cannon on the opponent. I think even if they go for 1 Power Punch, I can still get off 2 Zap Cannons. As you can see here, the opponent's committing to the aggressive farm down. Now at this stage, I'm happy enough. I'm like, right, okay, it's Togetic time. We're going to probably come in here and look to farm this thing down. And at that stage, we'll have a couple of moves for whatever comes back in. We can eat multiple moves on this thing, like we don't have to shield anything. Ice Punch number 1, that does absolutely nothing. I think that was debuffed as well, but ordinarily it does like 30% to Togetic. So we're just farming this thing down. We're only just into under 50% health now. The opponent's getting off a 3rd Ice Punch here, and we're still not shielding it. We do not care. Look at this, 3 Ice Punches deep. I'm actually just swapping straight out to Sandslash, expecting the Nidoqueen to come back in, and we're going to look to try and outpace here to the Ice Punch. The opponent is over farming here towards the Earth Power. 1 Ice Punch would look to take this thing out, so it's a pretty easy shield here. The opponent probably is baiting and looking to drop my defense, but at the end of the day, like, they're not going to get to another Earth Power. They can go for a catch there, potentially, if they wanted to. But we're going to look to one-shot this thing. Goodbye. And in comes Sableye. So I believe this is a pretty positive matchup for Sandslash as well. Honestly, it's probably quite neutral. I need to look this one up. But of course, up a shield. We just spam out these drill runs so quickly. And look at this. We're absolutely wrecking this thing. The opponent realizes they're getting absolutely wrecked by this thing. And they're going to look to top left. Because of course, we still have the Fairy type in the back, which will look to do very well against Sableye. Victory Bell lead. This is a bit of an awkward one here. But we just transition. Like, the good thing about this is, like, they're not really threatening us too much here with these Razor Leafs, but whenever they start spamming off debuffs and acid sprays, that's whenever it starts getting tricky. The opponent actually swaps out here. We come into Wigglytuff versus Registeel. Now this is neutral for the Focus Blast, so I could go Focus Blast. I look to go for an overfarm and end up CMPing on this. Wigglytuff can't really look to threaten us too much here, so we can let anything go. The opponent does not get the debuff, which is nice, and we're going to look to go for a Zap Cannon. Now, I don't think this will take out, because Wigglytuff has decent bulk, so I'm most likely going to have to go for another move. So maybe going for 2 Focus Blasts was better here, but of course I did want to try and get the debuff. I'm going to get rid of this thing, because I don't want them to completely, like, you know, chip me down to the point where I'm going to get farmed down very easily. I want to at least try to threaten something with a move here. Back in comes Victory Bell. I do not have to shield anything. The worst this can be is a Leaf Blade, really, which, you know, it does a lot of damage because it is Victory Bell, but can we get off the move in time? We just about do get off the move, and it is the Zap Cannon. We could have got off a Focus Blast, but I wanted to commit to the Zap Cannon here. The opponent is basically forced to shield it. Well, I don't really have to. I make an aggro swap here, knowing that once again, Sandslash up shields just absolutely destroys this meta. The only thing that really wrecks me here is like a Medicham, and in comes Bastiodon. Ladies and gents, Bastiodon, you're not going to have a good time here, buddy. You're not going to have a good time here, buddy. Look how much damage this drill run does. Get that stupid team out of my face and get back into the next game, because you're not going to win this one. I actually overfarmed just before they reached the Stone Edge here, just to kind of troll the opponent a little bit. And I was tempted to actually swap out and try and take it out with Togetic, but You know, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Good games to Bastiodon there. You know, just unlucky by the opponent there, I guess. But we do get a very nice 4-1 set. And we get a little Squovit. I have to say the seasonal rewards this season are quite good for GBL. We've got Squovit, we've got Double coming at season level 16, and we have a very bad lead here, and we do pivot straight into actually Diggersby. This was this morning, so these are next day battles, and I thought this might be an interesting line, but I decided since I started the video with that team, I'll just continue to stick with it. The opponent's not swapping out here, which is weird, and we're just going to look to absolutely obliterate this thing with Diggersby. Yep, the opponent can't really do a whole lot here. Now, even at this range, we can still eat another Earthquake, which is kind of wild. The opponent goes for a Rock Slide, which is just insane, honestly. And we're going to look to go for Fire Punch. I love this Pokemon. Any chance I can get to use this Pokemon, I will use it. And we'll see what the opponent comes in with. They're just pretty much core broken by Diggersby. We're going to look to get off an Earthquake. The opponent does go for a Bone Club. Ladies and gents, that is not enough. Bone Club is not enough. Diggersby is a thick boy. Look at this thick boy. Look at him. Look at him. Do you think he cares about Bone Clubs? I think not. We do get a shield off the opponent here. And we have Swampert in the back in this one. So, yep, we're going to look to probably just spam off a Hydro Cannon. I can let anything go here at this point. Bone Club coming through, the opponent's baiting here like crazy, and in comes Lantern. They're just absolutely core broken by ground types. I think the opponent stopped tapping there. Earthquake coming through. Will the opponent let it go? Yes, they do. Goodbye. Back in comes Marowak, and the opponent top left here finally. So, good games. Togetic into Skarmory here. We're back to this original team. We're going to transition out of here, look to Zap Cannon, and in comes the Swampert. So this is not the end of the world. Depending on the IVs in the Swampert, we can live the Earthquake like okay-ish. I think this 1471 CP. This is probably like a Hundo Swampert or something. So I won't be able to live this too comfortably and won't be able to get off another move. But yeah, we do get a lot of damage off on this thing, and at this point we come into Togetic. Now this does have a positive matchup against Swampert. We're going to look to eat a Hydro Cannon here, no problem at all. The Shadow one of course is a little bit scarier. And I think at this point I should be going for an Ancient Power, but I'm just not convinced it actually takes them out. 2 Hydros gets us very close to getting took out there. We're going to fire off an Ancient Power on this, and then look to probably transition out. Yeah, we don't even get off the second move, unfortunately. And we're going to look to go for multiple Ice Punches on this thing. This is a very tough position here. Skarmory is quite a core breaker for this. If you don't get... Well, I guess it's okay, like, it just depends what they have in the back, but we do shield up a Flash Cannon, which is pretty huge. And we're going to look to spam off these Ice Punches, which are really adding up on this thing. I do need to get a bit of an overfarm for the Swampert here. So I'm going to look to try and farm this thing down if possible. Let's see what the opponent decides to do. We're farming this the whole way down. What do they come back in with here? They come in with Ninetales. So I just think this is a little bit too much for me to do. Skarmory leads, Swampert on the swap, on my Registeel. We're going to look to go for an Ice Punch bait here. Will the opponent respect it? They do respect it, and at this point we need to get to this move immediately. We do get to the move, but I think the Swampert might be just on a little bit too much health. We'll have a look here. Can we just about take this out? 1, 2, 3, 4. They were just getting to the move, I think there. I think they were just getting to the move, so good games to the opponent. I didn't think I was going to win that one, but nicely played there in the end. Togetic into Lantern. We're getting all the bad leads here today. So we're going to swap into Registeel once again. The opponent comes in with Charizard. So like this is bad, but it's not that bad because one Zap Cannon will take this thing out. I would dare say this is even positive for Reggie, considering it's just a non-shadow. We get the attack drop, which is amazing here, so we can definitely comfortably live a Blast Burn. That does a lot of damage though. And I think what I might look to do here is get off another... this is only a Dragon Claw. The opponent made a huge mistake here. You have to commit to the Blast Burn. We're going to get off another Zap Cannon, which once again will threaten to one-shot. I would have shielded if they went for the Blast Burn, but we're forced the opponent to dump both of their shields, and we're in a really good position now. Knowing Ancient Power, Togetic can come back in here, probably just shield up once, but I actually do let this one go. It is a Blast Burn. We actually eat that so well. Look how well we eat Blast Burns on this thing. Now, this is a CMP time, and I'm thinking, is this another Blast Burn? It is, and we don't live that one. So at this point, we're looking to sweep with Sandslash again, up shields. It's a pretty familiar old story that you've seen a few times on this video. We're going to eat... Sorry, we're not going to eat a Surf, we're going to shield a Surf, because that would do a lot of damage. We're going to look to go for a Drill Run, potentially shield up another Surf, and then look to go for a Farm Down. We can't really eat Surfs on this thing too well, unfortunately, and that's what we're going to have to do here. We're going to farm this thing the whole way down. Can we get it? We just about do. And will the opponent come back in with Charizard, or do they have something else? I'm expecting the Charizard to come in. Yep, so we're going to go for an Ice Punch here. The opponent has dumped off all their energy, so I can look to just get rid of this thing. And yeah, farm it down. The opponent comes in with a Bomb of Snow. Now, we're going to need at least 2 Ice Punches to take this out. Can we just about make this in time? Because the opponent will get an Energy Ball off, which will do a lot of damage. So let's see how this goes. The Charizard, I think they are still pretty dry here, so we shouldn't be at too much danger. It really just depends on how much this energy ball does. We live it very well, actually. Not very well, but well enough to, of course, take the match, and good games to Sandslash there once again. Defense Deoxys, I've seen this lead about 3 times today, and it's super rough. Because, like, I can't really put it into my Registeel. I can, like, Reggie does fine against it. What I decided to do this first time around is go for a Gleam, knowing that the opponent can eat it. And I know I can eat a non-stab Thunderbolt as well, so that's absolutely fine. The opponent actually makes an aggressive swap out, and we'll come into Registeel at this point. This is super positive for Reggie, and if you're in this situation as the opponent, what you should be doing is going for Dazzling Gleams. Shout out to Jai in the Discord, he's a bit of a Ninetales enthusiast. He taught me that one for sure, but you do have to go for the Gleams against Reggie to chip it as much as possible. As you can see, like, these charms do add up, and it gets a little bit awkward. Like, they're not really in a farm down range. This is where, like, the non-shadow is a little bit better. Unfortunately, we will be forced to go for another move here. I'm happy enough just to get this thing out of here, and hope to try and get another move off, but it's looking a little bit rough here. They actually come in with Dugong, which was quite a surprise. I was expecting the farm down here with Defense Deoxys, but they don't come back in with that, which is kind of surprising, to be fair. I think they might have thought that I was getting to this move, and they didn't want to eat it on DD. They get the attack fall on this, so this is looking okay, I think. It's not looking good, but it's looking okay. Like, we can come in here with Sandslash. I think I look to catch what is going to be probably an Icy Wind bait, which will take me out here, which I'm happy enough. It is a Drill Run, which is actually worse. I kind of wish it was the Icy Wind bait, but we actually do get to the move here. So this is actually maybe looking okay. If we can farm this down with Sandslash, we actually get the boost, which is worse because the opponent's going to get more farm. We actually go straight for the Ice Punch. I cannot take any counter damage off this thing. And at this point, we're in quite a good position now. We're up 2 shields against Dugong. Now, of course, they're only going to go for Icy Wind because, you know, they might as well not even know Drill Run at this point. But that's what I'm expecting at the very least. We go for Drill Run number 1. They're so low health, like, I can shield anything and farm down, but they actually do go for the Drill Run, fair play to them. And we can just go for an Ice Punch at this stage. I know that I'm outpacing anyway, so I just go for the Drill Run. And again, like, when's the last time I had a positive lead? I had so many bad leads with this team. Like, really, really bad leads. Finally, we get a good one. I think this is our second good lead of the video. MEDICHAM lead was the first one. We go for the Registeel swap out here, and yeah, this is an extremely positive matchup for Reggie. This team actually works very, very well. I do highly recommend this team, actually. We're going to overfarm, look to go for a Zap Cannon. It'll take the opponent like another 3 Scalds to take us out. We're just not in any danger here. The opponent's shielding up, which is super surprising at this point. You would think they would let it go, and then look to come in and farm down with Obstagoon or something, and then look to threaten some damage on Togetic if they have any other move except for a Cross Chop or Night Slash or whatever. Or, you know, just use that energy somewhere else, but the opponent's dumping their shields into Tentacruel, and I'm more than happy with this. At this point here, I'm thinking a Scald might come close to taking out... this is a bad shield, I will just say it, but that's what I was thinking at the time. In comes Obstagoon. I'm not patient enough here because I was getting close to 100 energy. We come in with Togetic here, and the opponent I think is overfarming above the Night Slash. So I'm thinking here, does this opponent have Gunk Shot? I'm just going to get rid of it. Just keep the health on this thing because we actually do get the boost, which is amazing, and that's going to allow us to 2-shot the Tentacruel. So we're looking to be in an amazing position here. We've got a shield up with Sandslash in the back. If you've seen it once, you've seen it 100 times. The opponent actually goes for Sludge Wave, which is an interesting one. We're going to come in here and look to go for a farm down. Can the opponent reach a move? I don't know. They obviously can't reach the move, but whatever they've got in the back does not want to see Sandslash, and the opponent just top lefts. So again, we actually had a positive lead that time, which is quite nice. And we'll see if that continues here. Nope. Back to the Deoxys, so let's see how this one goes. I think I look to play it the same way. I'll look to CMP the Dazzling Gleam. Yep, the opponent does go for the Thunderbolt. This is so awkward for my whole team, like, it really is. The opponent lets it go, which is great. I probably, in the future, like, watching this back, I don't mind actually throwing up a shield here. I look to catch a Psycho Boost here on Registeel, because we're in Psycho Boost range at this point, and the opponent maybe knows my moveset. We eat that Psycho Boost very comfortably, and in comes Scrafty. This thing is a problem. Bro, what are these teams, bro? Like, counter user in the front, counter user in the back, like... What is this? Are we just getting algorithmed here? Like, what's going on? What is going on? We're just going to look to go for a Focus Blast. But yeah, this is not good. The opponent's actually firing off another pop here as well, making sure we don't get to another move. So yeah, at this point, this is where, like, having the health on Togetic is better. I go for a Dazzling Gleam here, just in case the opponent wants to let it go. I'm thinking, like, maybe they'll let it go and come in and farm down, but nope. Nope. Doesn't matter how many shields I've left on Sandslash, these boosted counters with Power Punch is just going to absolutely destroy me. I could have went for an Ancient Power, but like it wasn't going to be enough. And you're about to see here, you know, as good as Sandslash is, this is where it's very, very rough. 1, 2, 3, 4. We just got 4 countered down, which is just, you know, you just hate to see it, folks. You just really do hate to see it. So I think in that situation, you probably shield the Thunderbolt. We'll see if this is Charm or not. This is Charm. It is positive. I like to throw one move into the Charm, just so I can align the moves correctly. The opponent's staying in here, which is so weird. And they're actually over-farming above the Willer Ball here, I think, as well. They shield up the first one. They get the attack drop, and at this point, like, why are they staying in here? Surely they have some better answer than a Charm user to a Steel type in the back. They go for Willer Ball, which is incorrect once again, and we go for another Zap Cannon. So I'm thinking, like, they must be super weak to Steel in the back, so this is looking really good for a Sandslash sweep once again. We can let this move go, but why am I shielding that? Why am I shielding that? I think I just guessed that they're weak to Reggie. They come in with Bastiodon. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense why they shielded up, but look at this thing. This thing is going to have a very, very bad time here. We're going to look to go for an overfarm here. It takes them 7 smackdowns to get to the move. So, like, Stone Edge is neutral in this situation, so don't want to let them get to it. In comes Jellicent. Once again, Sandslash is just in the back, sweeping everything. Up shields. That was a terrible shield out by me on Reggie, but I was reading that they were weak to it. I was definitely comfortably living a debuffed Willer Ball there. But, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. We all make pretty bad shields and pretty bad mistakes. The opponent sees the writing on the wall, and that's going to be a good game. So yeah, the unfortunate thing about this video, it's like, the Limelight's getting stole by this Pokemon. Once again, like, this is another pretty bad lead. Like, these leads are not good. I'm trying to catch a Stone Edge here. Like, that's not going to happen, folks. We're just going to get absolutely wrecked here, to be fair. Mud Bomb number 1 coming through. Quagsire is amazing after this update. Mud Bomb number 2 coming through. I just need to Focus Blast this thing, and hope it does a decent amount of damage. And maybe look to, like, Fairy Wind or, you know, Ancient Power It or something. But yeah, this thing is just such a core breaker. They're going to farm me the whole way down, or so I thought. They actually go for the move. They were not counting energy correctly, so this bad situation could have been even worse. And at this point, we have a little bit of energy on this thing. I'm not convinced, once again, that Ancient Power takes out. So we're going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, just to ensure that we do take it out. And we just need to hope that we have a good matchup in the back. In comes Registeel. Well, that is not a good match. And I stay in here way too long. I decide to bank a move. In comes Pelipper. This is not a good match as well. So once again, we're just getting absolutely shit on by the alignment that we're getting here, unfortunately. This time, like, can we overcome it? We're just ripping through this Pelipper. But, you know, this is looking super tough. The Reggie is ahead on shields and ahead on energy. I probably should be going for an overfarm here at this point. So that is my mistake. I should have went for the farm down. So maybe I could have flipped this match if I went for that. But as you can see, Focus Blast number 1's coming through. And I think I need to do something fancy here in order to have any sort of a chance at winning this match. But even if I do make a catch, I think they're still outpacing to these Focus Blasts, which they do get to very quickly. We do make a catch here, which is quite nice. The opponent actually goes for a Zap Cannon, anticipating the catch, I'm guessing here. I could have went for an Ancient Power, but it would have just absolutely scratched the thing, like it wouldn't have done anything. And the Reggie's going to take us out. So yeah, a lot of really bad leads today, but we got a lot of wins, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely try Togetic. I think once you're not getting hard countered left, right, and center with, you know, Deoxyses and Lanturns and, you know, Steel types in the front, I think Togetic has a really... I think Togetic just has an absolute ton of play in this meta, against, of course, the Fighting and Dark types, which are definitely going to make a bit of a comeback here, with all of the Alolan Sandshrews, Dugongs, buffed Walrein. There's a lot of things that are weak to counter right now, so I'm kind of thinking 2 steps ahead here. Togetic is going to be very good in this meta eventually. If you have one from Community Day, maybe look to build it, and if you're a fan of competitive Pokemon Go, I would keep an eye out for it, because I do predict that, of course, with Sableye being the best Ghost type now, and Medichams being the best fighters, you're going to see those 2 Pokemon everywhere, and Togetic just deals with them super well. You can deal with Noctowls and all of the flyers to some degree. You have a pretty bad matchup against Lantern, but you can get off a lot of damage. So this Pokemon does very well in this meta, and I do recommend checking it out. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Hit that like button, subscribe now, and I'll catch you all in the next one.